I'm inside. It's a little after 3 o'clock and it's kind of almost dark. So, not much to do outside anyway as I get ready for the 2021 gardening season. I do need to still cut down some trees out there, and the other big project is to get my soil mix for my transplants done. That will happen once I'm inside of one of my greenhouses, and so it's not like it's weather dependent or anything. So, and then I've got a few other little repair projects and stuff out there, but mostly I'm kind of trying to hit some of these planting things that I need to get done, like seeds, getting my seed order done, because last year I missed out on getting some varieties that I would have liked to have gotten, like my Yaya carrots, because things had run out, and I expect that may happen again this year with a pandemic and people interested in growing stuff. So I want to get my seed order done as soon as possible. So then I went ahead and I had my seeds all kind of in, like, it's in a bag inside of other little bags based on, like, were they old or were they newer, or were these the ones I was planting out today in the garden. And so I went ahead and spent the time to kind of organize them in, like, I got this little cardboard container that I put my sunflower seed packs in, the ones that we eat, not seeds for growing. And so then I have, like, the current, 2019, 2020 seeds kind of alphabetized. And then I've got my older seeds. I've got some older seeds that I may do something with. And then I actually kept the old packets of seeds, the ones that are empty, just in case I want to look back and say, oh, well, what variety did I use way back when? And then in the back, I've got, like, these little, all the containers of carrots and stuff like that come in little plastic containers. And so then I at least can kind of be able to fiddle around and find things in there. And I may change that system at some point, but at least I got it organized enough so that I can look through and find out how much I need, how much I have, and how much I need to order, because I've run out.
So here I just copied and pasted from 2020 the templates for these forms that I'd already made. So this is my crop layout, and this is where I calculated crop bed length based on what I plan to be selling. And then this was my seed order page. And so I didn't really need to do such detailed calculation with crop bed length. This just kind of informed what I would do this year, and I made modifications on what I learned from this year. So my crop layout, as you've seen from previous videos, outside of this garden area, I cleared a bunch of trees and brush, and I'll be bringing in soil, but that may not happen until maybe later in the spring. And so I'm not counting on any of that area for what I'll be growing in 2021. So if it happens that it gets ready in time, I may plant some sugar snap peas out there. I'm not going to plant them in the garden area here because I have blight in both areas of the garden where I planted it before. So they'll go outside in the outside area if I have time. Potatoes are definitely going to go out there even if I have to plant them late because I don't really have room in the garden. And then I may plant some clover out in that new area. Plus I'll be planting it, interseeding it with kale and chard in this garden here too. And so what I did here was this kind of dull green area was the very original garden that I had. And then I expanded it out last year into this bright green area. So what I did is I just swapped these two areas completely over. So if I had kale growing over here, I planted it instead growing over here. And so what you're seeing with these big letters are what I originally had planted in this last season, and in the parentheses in small letters is what I'm going to be planting in the coming year. Now I roughed this out real quickly so I could get my seeds ordered, so this may change a bit, but what I've got is 3 beds of kale with probably a half bed of chard. I've got carrots in 3 beds with some beets, which is new, maybe a half bed of beets. And these beds are all about 40 feet long, maybe 35 to 40 feet long. Standard 30-inch wide beds. So then I've got a bed of baby chard and spinach to go along with the lettuce in the salad mixes. And so I've got 3 beds of lettuce, Salanova lettuce. And I've thought about putting radishes along the edges of these beds so that I can just use the cedar to do that instead of doing small patches. So we'll see. I'll have to think about that. And then in this bed here where I had peas, I'm going to do onions, leeks, and parsley. Last year I'd planned to do leeks, but I didn't do them because I thought I've got green onions growing. But I had one customer said that he prefers leeks. So I went ahead and ordered some leeks and then parsley out here too. And on all the bed ends, I'm going to do the bok choy again as a slug attractant, catch them under boards, which hopefully I'll get out there this year. And at the very end here, I've got my little pot of mint as well. So then my greenhouses, since I'm only going to have 2 greenhouses, I'd hoped I might have 3, but I'm doing that greenhouse grant, so I don't expect to have that. So I'm just swapping these 2 greenhouses out. This was cucumbers. It's going to become basil. This here was basil, and it's now going to become cucumbers. And in the early season, I'm going to be maybe thinking about planting carrots and peas in this greenhouse. And also early greens and lettuce in this greenhouse. So we'll see. And then during the regular season, I'll have mustard at the bed ends as a slug attractant away from the other crops. And so then in this greenhouse, maybe in separate on tables, I may have the orach growing. I'm not 100% sure how I'm going to do the orach, but that goes into the salad mix. And then here, I may try dill and cilantro in the greenhouse. Again, I'm not 100% sure how I'm going to do that, but it didn't work outside very well, so I've got to try something different. So then I did my seed order. The lettuce and, the Salanova red and green sweet crisp. I wasn't sure if I quite had enough, so I ordered a few more packs. Baby greens. So this is interesting. I had a friend, Holly, who lives in town, who tried this variety called Palco, and she said that it didn't bolt on her. So I'm going to try a little test of that. The Fire Fresh baby chard that I grew did the best out of everything. I had the space spinach bolted. The New Zealand spinach took a while to grow, and it didn't really have an upright habit, so it was kind of hard to deal with. So I am going to roll with this Fire Fresh baby chard because it held really great. I have a ton of it, so I'm not going to order any more. And I'm going to get a bunch more of this orach. I'm going to get a ton of it because I'm going to be probably doing multiple seedings of it, and I just want to have enough. And then I had good luck with a speedy arugula early in the season when I did early plantings in the greenhouse. And so I'm going to get some more of that. Sugar snap peas, I may get to them, so I ordered a ½ pound of the super sugar snap just in case I can get to that. I had plenty of radish, didn't need to order any more of that. So my carrots, I was able to get yaya. That's why I'm getting it early because I wasn't able to get the yaya last year. And then the Merita, I heard from a farmer in Juneau who did a taste test that this one came out the best tasting. So I ordered some of those. Plus I have leftover Giants of Colmar and other varieties if I want to plant like an overwintered. Supposedly the Merita is supposed to overwinter okay too. So should have plenty of carrots. This is new. Something new I'm doing. I've wanted to have beets, so I'm going to do a cylinder type beet and maybe in like half a bed. Kale, it looked like I had enough of the Italian and scarlet that I did before, so I didn't order any more of those. Plus, I'm getting all of these new ones to try for overwintering. I did a video on that, so I got a little bit of the Dazzling Blue, Black Magic, and the Dwarf Green Curled. So chard, I had plenty of that seed. Same with the basil. Didn't need to order any more of that. So this is something that's different. The dill and cilantro that I want to grow, I ordered like a culinary grade dill and cilantro because this is something that I watched on My Family Garden. Monty was growing cilantro, just regular seed, and because it costs less, I got a whole, like, I think it was a pound of it. It says like grams here, but I got like a whole pound of each of these. And this is just going to be a test, probably in the greenhouse anyway. So if it doesn't work, doesn't matter. But yeah, I went with culinary seed. Parsley, I have plenty of seed of that. Same with green onion. Leeks, I bought a little bit of that for the customer that likes those. I needed to buy more of my mini munch cucumbers, which are amazing, worth the price of growing those. And got a little bit more mustard for my bed ends in the greenhouses. I preferred the green wave, so that's what I got this time. And got some bok choy for out in the garden beds to attract slugs. Got a bunch more New Zealand white clover because it's a small, or a squat 8-inch that I can intersow with my kale and chard, and also if I need to fix nitrogen out in my new garden area. I've got enough inoculant. Hopefully it's still good, so I didn't buy any more of that. So that is my seed order for the year.
So I've got a video coming up next week. It'll probably come out middle of the week, where I sat down and talked via Zoom with Paxton, who lives in Arkansas, and he's doing a test market garden where he lives right now because he's planning to get into market gardening. So we're kind of on the same level as far as where we're at in the process of doing, growing our gardens. And so what we did was we talked about how we got interested in market gardening, and then how we're getting into it. And so I thought maybe you guys would be interested in hearing that. We're kind of planning on doing maybe a series of videos if people are interested in hearing what we have to talk about. And so that'll be up next, and hope you enjoy that. I will talk to you guys next week.
That's two different people's perspective from two other ends of the country, literally. And hope y'all got some use, hopefully some context somewhere in between there.